Hi, hello, my beautiful, beautiful peoples. Hi, I'm CatieBrannon, and this is Tea Time True Crime with Catie. If you are fascinated by true crime and kind of like it told in a different way, please subscribe, like, and share my channel. I really, really do appreciate you. It's because of you guys is what I'm doing today, and I love it. So if this is your first time, hi, what's going on? I am a very strong empath. You could say I'm psychic, or if you want to use that word, that's fine. But I'm a very strong empath and I feel energies. So when I talk about certain cases, sometimes I feel like the people are there with me. And there has been some cases where I've looked up and I completely got shut down. Like, no, don't do this case. And I want to be respectful because these are real people, these are real lives, but I really think that there is injustice in the world. I feel like it's not just me, it's like everyone could help everyone if they want, like you listening or watching right now, it's more than just listening and watching a podcast. It's someone who actually cares about people. And it means the world to me that you are just clicking on my video. So without further ado, how I got to this case, you guys, this is a lot. I'm going to tell you, it is a lot. It is very controversial. I still have questions of my own. Technically, this case is solved, but I feel like it needs to be told, okay? Now, I don't know if you've heard of the show Mother May I Murder? Yeah, real nice, right? It is on HBO Max, and this episode that I'm talking about is episode 2, okay? And I watched it, and it just really got to me, and I'm like, there's something not right. There's something not right with this case. Like, I can feel it. And I even made, like, I kind of made him do it. I was like, please, to my partner, I was like, please watch this with me and let me know if you feel what I feel. And that I'm not just being, very over analytical, because I'm very, yeah, I am. I'm a Virgo, so sue me, don't sue me, please. So he watched it and he was like, yeah, I don't think she did it. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah. I'm like, should this be my next podcast? And he was like, if you feel, I mean, it's a story. This is something here. This is something. I'm like, I know, right? So of course I didn't want to just watch one thing. So I listened to podcasts. I watched the 48-hour episode. There's also not many YouTube videos about this case. There's really not, maybe a few, but there's a lot of little snippets of like CBS News and like, what the verdict was. It's not really the story because every time I keep going into any kind of story, I find more information. So I feel like I've gathered enough information to talk about the story. Please let me know what you think below. I really appreciate you. So I'm going to stop yammering. And right now I'm just drinking hot water, okay, because I don't want to be in hot water doing this case. Yeah. So I'm just hot water. It's very healthy, it's awesome. So yeah, without further ado, I'm going to talk about Lanny Horwitz. How I'm going to do this case, I could not find the birthdays of these people. I could not find Lanny's or Donna's or Radley's, but I found their ages, so I'm guessing that's like the next best thing. So I wrote down a lot of stuff, okay? So now Lanny was from Buffalo, New York, okay? And he was 66 years old when he was murdered. Now, Lanny, he lived like royalty. I mean, this guy had cars, boats, houses, and he lived in Admiral's Cove in 2011. Admiral's Cove is in Jupiter, Florida, and this place is like the best security it's $1 million just estate. It is for like the really, really high up, richity people, okay? So you get it. He's very wealthy. Got it? Okay. So now I'm kind of going back to the like the beginning of the interview. So Radley says that his mother was actually screaming his name. Okay? All right, just bear with me. Okay. So Donna was hysterical, okay? So I guess now the crime scene is this. It's September 30th, 2011, okay? And Lanny is shot multiple times. Multiple, okay? And what happens is that the last shot, like the gun, the revolver, was put in Lanny's mouth. Rough, right? That's execution style. Lanny was naked. He was in the shower and he was gunned down. Yeah, brutal. Total brutal scene. And then not only after he is shot multiple times, a gun is being put in his mouth and shot again. Which means Lanny saw his attacker. He was eye to eye to his attacker. He knew who was killing him. Sadly, Lanny did not survive his injuries. Now, the coroner, because the communication was this. So it's such a rich home that when the alarm went off, security, paramedic, the security guy was the same as the paramedic. Bam, he was like the first on the scene. And he was talking to Radley, and you know, Radley's like, my dad's been shot, you know? And he was like, oh, is it a suicide? And then like Radley's like, yeah. But then when the paramedic goes in, he clearly sees this is not a suicide. And there is no way that he could save Lanny's life. Yeah, so at this time, there's 3 people in the house. Lanny, Radley, and Donna. Now, Lanny and Donna were in their 60s. 66 was Lanny, and I think Donna was like 67. Radley was 37 years old in his parents' home. Just not judging, dude, but I'm just saying, just 37 years old. So you got 3 people in the house, 1 winds up dead, okay? Now, we're going to go back and we're going to talk about Lanny and Donna a little bit. Now, Lanny and Donna were high school sweethearts. Lanny was 15 years old and Donna was 14 years old. Now, they married in 1967 and Donna was a stay-at-home mom. In my research, Donna came from money. Yes, her family had money. So when they were married in 1967, things were doing really well. They had everything you could want. They had cars, they had boats, they had really nice homes. Like, according to the friends and family, they were living like how everybody wants to live. Maybe not everybody, but they were in a very financially stable kind of lifestyle. But 30 years later, they divorced in 2001. That is because Donna strayed from the marriage. She didn't feel like Lanny was giving her enough attention. There was distant. Who knows? This is just what journalists have gathered up, okay? So they divorced in 2001 and Lanny was heartbroken. So she left. Now, they remarried in September 2001, okay? Then after that, they divorced in June 2002. Yes, so already very tumultuous. Tumultuous? Yeah, that word, you guys understand. It's basically not a positive, happy union, okay? You know, they make up, they break up, and it's not just like they hardcore make up and break up. I mean, there is marriage and divorce, okay? More than once. So after they're on and gone off again, the couple actually reconciled in 2011. Okay? Now, his business was not doing well. It is like the recession. He did bad business deals. He's not doing too good. But he wanted Donna to move back in and also wanted $200,000. So Donna was actually very excited that she wanted to be a family again, you know, and she's like, we can all be a family. We can all do this together. And $200,000, that's a chunk of change. But Donna wrote the check and gave it to Lanny. So Donna called Lanny Lambo. That was her pet name for him, okay? So now, this is where things get muddy, way more muddier than before. This business associated named Francine Tice, there may have been an affair, because in Donna's diary, she mentions like some kind of affair is happening. I mean, the proof is in the pudding, but you know, we don't know. There are pictures of Francine and, you know, Lanny kissing on the lips, but you know, I feel it could just be like, mwah, you know, like a peck, and then they took the picture, and then that was it, you know. But again, who knows? Okay, so this is what Radley believes why his father is deceased. He believes Francine Tice caused the huge rift between his family. So with everything going on, Lanny is gone. Police go to the home, but the coroner takes 10 hours. I'm sorry. 10 hours to remove the body, to do the scene, because they thought it was a suicide, which is what? Even if it was a suicide, you go in ASAP and collect what you need to collect. But no, it was 10 hours later. There also was 36 firearms that were found in the home. 2 guns were actually used in the killing. So someone went in there like Clint Eastwood style and was like, bang, 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 bang. Like, I mean, I'm not trying to be, you know, kind of silly about it. I'm not. But it seems like that. Like, you have 2 guns and you literally kept shooting until it was dry, you know? Until it was dry. It's called a dry shot, because when you keep pulling the trigger and there is no bullet, it makes a sound, like a k sound, okay? So now all this is happening. The police spend days collecting evidence in the home. Now, I talked about the $200,000. Yes, I did that, okay? So now Donna's diary was the smoking gun in the case. Yes. When they got that diary, you guys, they freaking ate that up like it was SpaghettiOs, okay? And they literally said, you know, she was heartbroken. She loved Lanny, but he broke her heart. And she snapped, and she couldn't take it. Now, 6 days after the killing took place, they arrested Donna. Donna was not read her Miranda rights. This is apparently why the technicality of the first trial didn't work. Spoiler alert, she's been trialed twice. She's been on trial twice, okay? So Donna's attorney, okay, let me back up. So when that happens that day, Donna is so hysterical, like hysterical. She can't even function. She is just like, I mean, I really think she was traumatized, because she did love Lanny. I mean, to have this tumultuous relationship, they seem like twin flames, in my opinion. They're just always drawn back to one another. And Radley was cool and collected, calm as a cucumber, just cooperating with police and telling him these stories, saying that, oh, I saw blood drip on my mother's foot and I got a napkin and I wiped it off. but there was no bloody napkin at the scene. Apparently her saying, he is so awful, you know, running across the hallway yelling, he is so awful. It didn't happen because it's just Radley's words. Like, police on the scene didn't hear that. Police on the scene didn't take that down. So Donna's attorney, he makes a really good point. He really tries to save Donna. So the blood spatter in the shower was definitely made by a taller person. So the prosecutor is making Donna seem to be like this heartbroken person who just wants revenge and just wants to like kill him and everything. But listen to this. They were divorced. They didn't get remarried again. So if he died, she would have got nothing. Nothing. Yeah. So what would she gain from his death? Think about it, guys. Now, on the other hand, Radley, he gained the inheritance and insurance money. $500,000, 2 homes, boats, cars, including he's driving, during the 48 Hours episode, driving his father's Aston Martin. That is my partner's dream car, by the way, FYI. Let's manifest. Okay, sorry, Aston Martin. So if you don't know that car, it is like a really expensive, I feel like 007 sports car, okay? So if you're not a car person, that's the easiest way to explain it. It's hot, it's sexy, okay? It gets all the ladies. So, and you're wondering, okay, well, why would Radley resent his father? You know, like, what makes him want to kill his dad? Oh, not only the inheritance money, but in 2006, Radley was arrested after selling a handgun to a felon, and he spent 5 months in federal prison. That completely, like, messed Radley up. Because he comes from, like, a silver spoon, pretty much. He really does. I mean, you see these family videos and how loving his mother is. His father, not quite much. Radley was kind of like a loner. He wasn't a social butterfly. He didn't have much friends growing up. They're definitely, I feel like, psychologically something wrong there. But his parents always gave him everything. He always had money, you know. Even at 37 years old, he moved in with his parents. So Radley was never a businessman like his father. He just wasn't. He actually got a degree in English, I believe, and I guess it wasn't panning out, but he ended up having a daughter, which, you know, the Horwitz loved very much. And I don't want to put her in here because she's a kid, and I feel really, really sad about the whole thing because I'm pretty sure she loved her grandmother, you know. So yeah, so he did have resentment towards the father, but he thought he would, you know, open his own gun store. And his dad pretty much, like, kind of helped him to do that. But Radley messed it up. So I don't know how this came about, but you cannot, okay, so Radley was trying to, I guess, drum up some business, or I don't even know why this happened. But what happened was that he got in trouble because he bought like something, an automatic, like a gun, something like it's to put on a Glock to make your gun automatic. Sorry for my gun people, if you understand, forgive my ignorance of guns. I'm not a big gun person, okay? But basically, so that happened, and then the big thing, like I said, Radley spent 5 months in federal prison, and his father laughed at him. His father laughed when this happened. Like, but Radley could not take responsibility. Sure, your dad is a dick. He does not sound like the nicest guy. He really doesn't. But there is something called take responsibility for your actions. Like, seriously. I mean, am I wrong? Yes, your dad can push you and, like, not literally push you, because he says his dad never physically abused him. It was just mental and verbal. He was sarcastic. He was snide. Sounds like a dick, okay? You know? Just saying. But Radley listened to his dad, and he was like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna do that. But he said that it was his dad's fault that why he got in prison, and his dad wasn't there for him. Instead, he just ridiculed his son. And I think it was built up anger, just like, how dare you humiliate me, you know? Okay, so Radley says, remember I said that Radley said his mother said he's so awful, he's so awful. So after a week though, he said those things after he lawyered up, okay? Attorneys think that Radley made the story up. He also talked about a drive-by because he kept hearing the dry shot, but he couldn't because his room was on the other side of the house and the alarm was blaring so loud. And, you know, the shot of the shower, you know, like as soon as the shower glass was shot, the huge alarm was going off. So how could you hear a, you know what I'm saying? Like the dry rubbing of a gun, okay? So like I said, Donna was hysterical and Radley was cool, calm, and collected. But police botched the investigation. Sorry, you kind of did. Because they never collected Donna's pajamas or Radley's clothes in the morning of the murder. There were no fingerprints on the weapons. There was no physical evidence tied to the scene. Also, Radley talk total like shit. I don't like that word. Shite. Radley talked shite as, you know, his father's funeral. At his father's funeral, the dude is gone. The dude is dead, and you go and pay your respects just by talking about what a horrible monster he was. Now, on the show 48 Hours, he actually, quote, here we go, quote, "I'm glad that he was up and alive long enough to know what comes around goes around, and this was the payback for everything he had done not only to my mother, but to me," end quote. I'm sorry, what? So when Radley's in interviews, I've noticed he doesn't even look at the camera. He doesn't. And he like is all fidgety, and it's just like, he looks like a little weasel, you know? I mean, I'm not trying to call names, but like, just, you watch and you let me know, okay? Not like calling him names, it's just like, it just seems like a little weasel. He does. He's very fidgety, he doesn't look at the camera. He kind of has like sarcastic remarks. It's wild. So there was luminol testing, okay, in the sinks. Now Radley's sink was the only one that was covered in more bleach than the other bathroom sink. Now that could be because Radley is OCD. He even showed off proudly his hand sanitizer at the scene. Good for you, bro. I carry it too, okay? So, but the defense was like, why was there more bleach in his sink? Is it possible that more blood was present? And of course, the crime scene investigator said it's possible, but there's no way knowing that it was blood. But of course, defense is like, it could have been where he cleaned the blood off his hands. Another attorney's theory, it kind of just like, he blew it in the water, was that Radley may have hired a hitman because there was a bloody hand smidge on the gate. It wasn't Donna's, it wasn't Radley's, and it wasn't the security guard. Prosecutors say that the mystery DNA is meaningless. Now, what they mean about that is when there's blood, and I just don't understand this. When there's blood and you like, you know, smear the blood, it could mess up the fingerprint, right? Well, the prosecutor was saying so many other people touched that gate, so it could be like a mix of other people's DNA. Yeah, okay, all right. So the big first alarm was the glass shatter from the gunfire, okay? Now about the hitman thing. So Radley bought a hitman manual at a gun show, okay? Which basically the manual is how to kill somebody and get away with it. Yeah. Hitman defense was bogus because Lanny was killed with his own gun. Okay? And also, there may have been 2 guns at the scene. It's really weird, you guys. But remember, it took the coroner 10 hours to go and like process the scene and all that. So Radley could have done whatever he wanted. He could have staged the gun where he wanted. He could have like cleaned stuff up. Like, it's just wild. Why 10 hours? Okay. Sadly, Donna did not testify at her trial. I know attorneys say don't testify, you know, defense attorneys, even though when I watched the trial at the end and they said, did anyone, you know, like make you say these things or something like that, and Donna was like, no sir, I'm not testifying. I mean, I think mostly because defense attorneys do not want their clients to testify. I don't know. Let me know down in the chat, you know, why you think. So when Donna was actually up to maybe testify, he wasn't sure that she wasn't going to testify. Radley is out of the courtroom. He did not want to hear his mother's turn to speak. Now, Francine Tice, the one, you know, the paramour, I shall say, the one that caused all this, she was never even called to testify. She appeared, though, during the last day of court to hear closing arguments. So this case is about jumping to conclusions, which I am guilty of that. I do. I can say that. If my friends are watching, I see you, boo-boo. Sometimes I do jump to conclusions. Okay, I do need that jump to conclusions mat from the Office Space. All right, you know what I'm talking about? So the reason why, less than 2 hours, the jury finds her, Donna Horwitz, guilty. And they give her a life sentence. Yeah, I know. What? There is no physical evidence. They said it's just circumstantial, but I'm like, but doesn't Radley have circumstantial evidence as well? Okay. So 2 years later, on 48 hours after sentencing, Radley was there. He may have not been invited. That's right. Okay. So 2 years later, there was like this big ceremony about Lanny. Okay. And they want to say goodbye and throw his ashes and say their loves and basically condolences. And they get a whole bunch of people on a boat, and Radley is not there. No, Radley is not there at the memorial where his father's ashes are being spread in the Atlantic Ocean. Instead, the ceremony was led by Francine, people. Yes, yes, yes. I know. I told you guys, it's so twisted. It's twisted, right? Like, okay. So Lanny had a $500,000 life insurance. He left $200,000 to Francine. What? If you are not somebody, don't want to say bumping uglies because it ain't ugly, you know what I'm saying? It's beautiful. If you are not having an affair on your wife, why would you leave $200,000 to Francine? The only thing I can think of, maybe she, he borrowed money from her. Who knows? Who knows? We don't know, okay? But Radley sued Francine. It's not funny, I'm sorry. Radley sued Francine for her share of the insurance payout, and Francine settled for $90,000. As part of the settlement agreement, both parties agreed not to speak badly about each other in public. Yeah. I don't know. Now you're thinking, well, Katie, I read that Donna and Radley still talk. Radley goes and visits his mother in jail. Yeah, he does. He does. Because I hate to use the word boomer, okay? I love boomer on Wentworth, okay? But boomer terminology is just, but you get it. All right, so the mother is a boomer, straight up. Maybe the generation before that, because this is 2011, she's 66. So back in those times, you literally sacrifice everything for your child. She may know that Radley did it, and she did. Like when she found out that she was being accused of murder, he Bradley, the son, threw his mother under the bus. Like, threw her under the bus. And when that happened, Donna fought back and she threw her son under the bus. So it's just like negativity and negativity. And, you know, she loves her son, which is really sad because he put her in prison for the rest of her life. He says that he cannot believe that they made her guilty. They thought it would be a mistrial and that since there wasn't enough evidence, they would let his mother go. But dude, bro, how could you risk your mother's life like that? I just don't understand. Because when you watch the family photos and videos and stuff, the mother is doting to Radley. She loves her son. He's her only son. He is everything to her. Like, yeah, so I'm thinking she talks to Radley because she has nobody. Because they think she's a murderer. And I feel when you are in prison for the rest of your life, you want to have some kind of human contact that is not the prison. I mean, that's what I would think. And I feel that she loves her son and she did the ultimate sacrifice. Years later in the show Mother May I Murder, you have the security guard almost in tears saying that I don't think Donna did this. You have her best friend since forever read a note about what happened that day, where she heard the gunshot, she stayed in bed, and she was so scared that she got the blankets and covered her face. Because when you hear gunshots, you're not going to run to see what's going on. You're going to hide and try to live. Yeah, so that was Twisted. That was greed, obsession, love. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I'm just knocking stuff down here. Okay, so let me know what you guys think below. It is a very sad case. Lanny, I just been feeling Lanny. Like I have candles going, I have crystals around me, and I have just been thinking on this case for days, and I've been researching because I do not want to mess up, but I really feel like Donna didn't do it. I just don't. I know other people are saying she snapped, she murdered him, but to come in guns blazing like Clint Eastwood, bang, 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 and then the last one you put in your husband's mouth and you stare at him in the eye and you pull the trigger? No. And if you're like, well, Katie, she got her heart broken, she left him every time. So what would be different? What would be so bad that she went all Clint Eastwood on her husband? Ex-husband, or whatever they were, friends with benefits. Who knows? But I know that that little old lady didn't do it. And she's probably going to die in prison. But I'm doing this story because to say that it's a horrible situation. I wish healing and positive energy on the loved ones that are affected by this case. What do you guys think? Please let me know down in the comments below. I send you wonderful energy, you guys. Thank you for checking me out. Please know that you are loved, you are cherished, and remember, you are doing better than you think. Until next time, bye guys, see you later. Bye.